Hi, everyone. This is Hannah Ray. A bunch of you have been emailing me and popping in, asking about Canvas, how to use it, the design of my page, because I know, the district is switching out of Google Classroom, and so we're all kind of rushing, trying to put our pages together. I've been using it for about a year. There's some things I like about it. There's some things that are a little clunky. Um, Most of you know how to use everything, but some of you asked for instructions on just the dynamics of how to design your Canvas classroom. So I'm gonna make a separate video for that. This is just to answer some of your questions about the layout. So right now, obviously, I'm at the teacher version. I personally, let me do student view. For my experience in the year of using Canvas, simplest is best. Okay, I used to have all these other features for the kids to, do online discussions. Unless you're willing to monitor it 24/7 and deal with the discipline issues that come from the freedom of that, I personally I decided to not use it. The people link, there's all these links here that I think would be great for high schoolers, but I don't recommend it for middle schoolers, especially not sixth grade. So I've done as little as possible. So they've got their homepage, they have my email. We know they're not going to read this explanation, but it's helpful for the parents. Okay. Um, One of the things I really like about Canvas, which I think is one of the reasons why the district is switching to Canvas, is because we're getting more VI kiddos. And there is this immersive reader feature here that our VI kids can use, which is great. But anyways, yes, so simplest is best. The modules, I just keep telling the kids, modules means calendar or schedule. Okay, and then their grades. Weirdly, a lot of the kids will select grades to get to their assignments, so I'm trying to break some of them of that habit. But just tell them, go to modules. This is your schedule. Okay, this is your calendar. I always put the current week at the top, and then the previous week I put below. Um, I number my weeks and I put the dates, and then I just have a consistent star here. The reason for the emojis, well, there's a couple of reasons. One, they're cute, they look nice, but I will tell a kid who can read the word Wednesday, I will go, click Wednesday. Where? Click Wednesday. Where? Click the computer. Okay. For some reason, I think they get overwhelmed with all the words. I've tried to make the words simple, but also, I have an inclusive, not all of you have this, but I have an inclusive classroom. So we've got our MD specialized learning kiddos, our ESL kids. It's helpful to say to them, hey, click the computer instead of the words, makes them less overwhelmed. Um, so that's why I have the emojis there. And then what I do is I do the days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So we didn't have school on Thursday. Um, Sometimes you'll see things that are multiple days. And that just like this I pulled from a previous week, the 5 days about me slideshow, because I knew some kids were out sick a lot that week. But that was the week before. See, there's no week 3. And so when I had the week 3 up and it said 5 days, they knew it was that whole week every single day. But what I do, I have to like have a cute little icon there. I put the title for each assignment. I do their overall question. You could do the objective, the I can statements. I do a general background, and honestly, this kind of operates as my lesson plan a lot of times because I know the kids aren't going to read all of this. I read it to them out loud, and that's also helpful for kids that are absent or parents want to check. So I always do a background, and then I will give directions. Okay, obviously I go over this with them in class, and I provide every material that I use in the lesson and the project is below the directions. Okay, so I've got the PowerPoint, video, a digital copy of the worksheet, even though I give them printed versions. I always include a Kahoot or a Booklet. just, in their downtime if they want to review vocabulary that's related to the assignment. Also, I always include differentiation. Now, the gen ed gifted kiddos, they know to stay with background and direction. Okay, I say to them, if you were not told to do the differentiation, don't worry about it. Okay, we do talk about in the beginning of the semester what differentiation is and how do we make an inclusive environment in the classroom. But I have different options for differentiation. This is also really nice. So when you export your Canvas pages for the next year or next semester, there's a placeholder for these. Now, this is the end of a previous semester, and we have a new semester start. I don't know what kiddos I got, but typically what I do is, let's say I've got 4 MD kids. I will say, what's your favorite color? And I will make that assignment their color. So I'll change the pencil color. So let's say, April has, just a random person, April has green because she is a pre-K through kindergarten reading level. And then I'll say Theodore is orange and he will have the upper elementary reading levels. So I always have multiple forms of differentiation. Obviously, a lot of times if they can't read this or they can't connect the fact that, oh, my color is green, I need to click the guided notes here. Usually those students have instructional assistants. But yeah, I always include directions, background. This is a project example. I have a copy of, so their assignment is the PowerPoint. This is the beginning of the school year. I have to make sure that everyone knows how to use all the features on Google Slides, Canva. They need to use all the technical tools and know every feature. So they have an About Me slideshow they fill out, and they have to do a specific task on each slide to demonstrate their knowledge of the Google Slides. Lots of kids, they will accidentally delete the instructions or the prompt for each slide. So I just give them a copy of the prompt. It's view only, so they can't delete it. I mean, I can access it, so that's why it's letting me. I always do an example. Okay. And then I always include an instruction video. So, because, we all repeat ourselves a bunch of times and we're shocked when the kids don't know what to do. And, we all know they have their hands up and act like they're just going to sit there. Oops. They're just going to sit there while they wait for us and, we get frustrated. So this is my solution, is I just record myself making an example and walk them through it step by step. And it's great too if they're behind and need to work on it at home. And I know I've told some of you about this and you think I'm crazy, but here's my thing. You're going to make an example project anyways. So just record yourself making the example project and just talk out loud while you do it and just explain your steps. And then you're done. So you were going to do the example anyways. It's really helpful. It's a game changer. And, I have a homework help channel, got 35 subscribers. I should have more after all these years. But the kids know that there's a homework help channel, and I will also include differentiation. It's really helpful for our MD specialized learning kiddos. It's very helpful for our CHIP kids and our ESL kids. So for CHIP, it's just great because it automatically creates subtitles. So there's your differentiation for your hearing impaired kiddos. So that's the setup of my Canvas page, just the layout and how it works. Just shoot me an email. Let me know if I need to do a part 2, if you have any other questions. Maybe I should show everyone how to do a quiz. And then I'm going to make a separate video to explain how to create certain documents, how to set up your Canvas page as far as the technical skills and things like that. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.